I do got to say, I better not think about saying it. I was trying to say something before I lay down, but I ain't really got nothing to say. I'm just glad I got this far with God. I'm glad I got the understanding in it, the importance of life. That's it. I'm just proud of my accomplishments, even though it's nothing physical that I can see. I don't even, in the physical, you know, is it a change? I wouldn't know. But I know it's a change. I know it's big changes coming because you got to manifest it in the spiritual before it get to the physical. And I know I've been doing a lot of work in the spiritual. And it's just, I'm just glad to get this far with God. I told God that I always think about Job. So I just want to get here. And I think I still got a ways to go though. I just thank God I got this far. I thank God I didn't break. I thank God I didn't do nothing to go to prison. But these situations, typically how they end are in my grave, you know. I thank God I gave God a chance to show me what a lot of us keep making mistakes before we get that knowledge. And it's like I said about them planets, bro. It's like people trying to do you in, but you can only see the surface. You pray to God about it. Immediately, God already working on it, probably before you prayed about it. And it's like, if you can see like I can see, and so you prayed about it, God and the angels come check it out. They're not gonna look at the ones torturing you. They're gonna look at you like with this face like, I hope you make it. You know, I hope you live through it. I hope you survive through it. Because you just seeing on the surface. They going back to get the people who started all this. So you're gonna have to raise your vibration and walk in your higher self while all that's being taken care of, which can be very long, tedious, you know, not stressful. Cause if you walking in your purpose, if you walking with God, stress don't exist. I mean, stress tend to make you look old, feel old, mess you up in certain ways. When you walking with God, you get younger and younger. Stress tend to last a lot where you gotta go get help. You might think about it a little bit and it might be gone the first hour you thinking about it. The first hour it's gonna be gone. You're not gonna dwell in it. You just gotta keep moving. That's what I learned in this situation. You gotta keep moving. They trap you in a situation where you can't move. That's even better. Because now you can really move. Because now you can grow. You can evolve. You can elevate. You can go up. You know. And I'm just proud of myself for being able to get through that and understand that. I'm glad I just held hands with God and let God took charge and took myself out the way and just embraced it and had patience like a shepherd, because I see like why all my brothers and sisters in prison now, because it's like some of us are, it's a lot of angels out here, way more than we can even imagine, and some of our prayers are vitally important, and if that means sitting you still in prison, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen, because it's something about what you're doing to yourself that's keeping, it's a part of you that you don't see that's working in this physical and in the spiritual. but you can get in the way of it with drugs. You can get in the way of it with simple food you take in. Like if somebody's contaminating your food, like messing with uh, um, seasons and stuff like pepper and salt, messing with all that, that stuff will set you back. Um, Messing if you smoke weed and then they messing with that, putting this weird garlic in it, set you back. Um, Lovers set you back, and it's like, well, what's the best way to put you in a position where God can work through you? They need you. You're here because they need you for something. It ain't what you think it is. It's something different, and you're not gonna get it even if they explain it to you. So what they gotta do, you're gonna do it to yourself. You're gonna probably do something reckless and end up in prison and sit still. And if you think about it, uh, like seasoning food and all that, drugs, and really like it ain't supposed to be in prisons, you know. So, in love, you're gonna wind up in a solitude position where you can't consume none of that stuff. And what you don't know is you probably working better now in the spiritual. Now that you locked down like that, like a tree, now you like a tree. Cause you needed to be. You're overall. Long story short, you're a prayer warrior. If you was a warrior angel, and you come over here, you're a prayer warrior, and they need you, to do your job basically. I learned a lot in here, y'all, that I just better not say. I ain't gonna say it, but it's like it's a whole new world. It's a whole nother world right here with us, and we just ain't noticing it. And it's going on. It's like these vessels and what we do here is the illusion. Everybody in the Truman Show in this physical. The real work is going on in the spiritual. The real deal stuff going on in the spiritual. It's like here we taking a break, basically. It's a break. It's a break. You go to the spiritual people want to come over here on spiritual, you know what I'm saying, back forth. And so you just don't know. Only God knows. But what else what I was saying? And like I said, I learned so much with that all stuff, the importance in it. It's so important that we find the right lover we're supposed to be with, because it's going to help the earth. It's going to help the earth. It's like, that alone is going to help the earth way more than what we can do um, physically, even though we need to put work into, but just for just by everybody going in the right direction of their lovers, that's gonna help a great deal, man. Cause if you knew what the garden and the forest was really for, we gotta understand something. God doesn't make that for no reason. And sex is the first drug known to man. So why did God make it so luring, basically? Because it's vitally important, the all part of it, you know. And it's almost like we come over here, nah, I ain't gonna say that though, but it's vitally important, the oil is. And like I said, it's like that Bleach anime, when they turn into them reapers and they got these different gifts. Right now, I'm starting. I can't check. I want to check, but God ain't gonna let me. I've been trying to sneak and check, but He ain't gonna let me do it. But I'm starting to realize, like, everybody garden uh, and everybody forest got a different gift, and you can really line the gifts up with the lovers, but you won't be able to do it though. I couldn't do it. God wouldn't let me do it. But it's just so much I learned in it that I ain't gonna tell nobody. I ain't telling nobody. I might try to write a book about it if God let me. Uh, lot. I learned a lot. In 5 years, I learned more in 5 years than I have in my whole life. Being attacked, unalive, and all that stuff, in the depth of solitude, I learned so much. It's like, it's probably scientists out there, brilliant scientists out there want to know certain things that I already know. I already got the answer to. It's like I just had to be still. Because I'm a working person. I love to work. I love to use my hands. I love to work. I love to work, period, you know. I multiple jobs. I love to stay busy. Uh, it's like, let's say I got 4 jobs. If I get married and have a child, I take away 2 or 3 of them. Well, that's just an example. And I put my energy in them. Because it's like, that's just always the way I've been. But like I said, I really ain't got much to say. I'm finna get off here. But I don't know, it's just in these 5 years, planting myself like a tree was absolutely amazing. Amazing. And don't get me wrong, it was a lot of heartfelt stuff, like supposed to been lovers, supposed to came, but when I learned about this sex realm and all, I realized when you want a lover, this is the way I would put it, bro. I done said it before, I'm gonna say it again. We was trained to go to school, do this and do that and do this, and well, that's decent too. But it's still flipped. I learned if you go in God's direction and you work on fulfilling your purpose. You work on the reason that God put you here in the first place. You really think God put you here to be I don't even want to say, I don't want to discourage anybody, but the typical stuff that humans tend to need and want, do you really think God put us here for that? Not at all, really. So going to your purpose of healing generational curses and just walking into your purpose, that's gonna somehow curve and leave you. If you want to go to school to be some rocket scientist, you want to be a musician, you'll be amazed how just walking into your purpose with God will lead you, if that's what's supposed to be of you. Whatever of you and whatever really make you happy and whatever's really gonna fulfill you, it's gonna be in the direction of your purpose. The problem is that the beginning of your purpose, you ain't gonna like it because you probably gotta deal with family, you probably gotta deal with a residence or a resident, you probably gotta deal with stuff that you've been praying and couldn't wait to leave. And just to find out that you finna go on your purpose and you might gotta stay in that situation a lot longer than you expected, that's the worst part. That's it. You gotta get over yourself, your pride. You gotta get over your pride. You gotta embrace humiliation. And you just gotta, and then evolve yourself, grow. Going through that, just grow. That's it. And it's like, if you go in God's direction, so I learned as I've been walking this path with God, it's literally a quota, like, you gotta reach. So let's say you're in a century struggling, you gotta do something for so long. It's gonna be cut off. You're gonna do it for about, so many years, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. And it's gonna be paused. You're gonna go on a break. You're gonna earn a break in the spiritual. And whatever might take you 3 lifetimes, that's probably why it's gonna take you 3 lifetimes. You're gonna earn a break and you're gonna go to a normal, more relaxing life. And what it is that you working with God and you disciplining yourself by working with God, because you probably on your own. Some you ain't gotta be though. Most people be with somebody, but I think I ain't gonna say rare, but I don't know, it's something unique about somebody making it as an individual. But and that's what I did. I had to elevate by myself, you know. Um, and just me. I wasn't by myself with God. God had me. I definitely had God all the way, 100. So I wasn't by myself. And it's like you just so looking at that, you disciplining yourself, and God's watching you, you know. And God watching you discipline yourself, humble yourself, embrace humility, embrace dignity, learn about dignity, morality. Um, there's a lot of other things I need to get into, but my hands is forced to not be able to do that because there's bad energy around. But outside of that, what I could do, I did it to the best of my ability. And God seen all that, so it's like you meet a quota, and when God say, He'll say eventually, bring his wife, bring her husband, or whatever. And it's like the more you complete yourself, and the more you make yourself whole, you'll start to emerge with that energy. You and that energy will start to emerge together. And I know there's some that are bottled up and say like they'll even get in bottles. The energy will bottle them up. And that's what I was talking to God about this morning. I said, these bosses alive? They must be alive. And it's like you pick your lovers, your energy. You really don't pick your lovers. They already really be picked, you know. And it's like you got an energy you gotta be with. That energy gotta wait for the vessel to vibrate high enough to be in. And once that vessel done elevated high enough, that angel or whatever is gonna take over that vessel, and y'all gonna come into contact with one another in the physical. So that's where a lot of the stuff is at. So I learned all that in there, and it's like you gotta pass these. It really ain't tests, but it's like discipline. It's trial and tribulation. You go through all that, and God gonna see you fit to be a husband, fit to be a wife. You will want God to give you your lover before yourself or a man. You want God to give you everything, really. And then that's gonna work on all that. And then, like, if you got issues, all, that trials and tribulations is gonna work on your heart, your mind, your darkness, all that. And any flaw, any little flaw that you got in your heart, your mind, your darkness, that's aggressive or too aggressive or too spontaneous or too lustful or too demanding. It's gonna all that's gonna any little thing you can think of. I don't know a lot of stuff, but any little thing you can think of, every little thing you can think of, it's gonna nitpick. If you go in the right direction with God, it's gonna nitpick at them things until they fade that out of you. And so what I mean by that, okay, let's say something always trigger you. Well, you're gonna keep getting triggered in this way. And let's say, what's a good one? Let's say, uh, alcohol, drugs, or somebody cheating. That'll keep coming to you. That'll keep on coming towards you. That'll keep coming towards you until you, that'll keep coming your way until you, stop worrying about it, give it to God the right way. You just keep getting, like, you just keep getting, in these positions where you tempted by temptation in some kind of fashion or form. And like me, when they kept sending women to me acting like they were lovers, paying women, these women are not lovers and they're gonna cheat. You gonna know they're cheating. And their whole goal is to make you act out of character. That keep going, keep going. So you learn even from that, like, okay, you know that they Could be some kind of clubhouse girls or whatever. And but believe it or not, that ain't the problem. You know that uh, they don't really love you. That ain't even the problem. But what is maybe the problem is that you might want them to love you. And at this time, you don't understand that this is all a game and they some kind of clubhouse girl. You wonder why they don't love you, so you're getting aggressive about it. You're getting on your feelings about it, stuff like that. Or they might just be cheating on you. You're getting in your feelings about it. Well, you can utilize that and let that strengthen you to the point where you just ain't even sweating it. It ain't nothing to even worry about. It's garbage, you know. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as you start reacting like you're supposed to, for some apparent reason, it goes away. It's like it was a demon, or it was a test from God or something. It was something in this Ouroboros, and that's another way of breaking generational curses. Because maybe your parents did that, maybe your grandparents did that, fought a lot, somebody, something like that. So whatever triggered them, now that entity is inside of that lover, supposed to be lover, and it's triggering you because your parents failed at it, your grandparents failed at it. Now will you fall at it? And see, you gotta pass them tests. So it's like it's way beyond. You know, when we look at it on the surface, alcohol, drugs, and cheating and stuff like that's the surface. That's really not it. It's more internal. You gotta love yourself. And I just found the secret to that was to love God so God can teach you how to love yourself. That's it, y'all. I'm tired. I'm finna lay down. Well, I'm finna watch some Bruce Lee. Then I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna watch some Bruce Lee. Try to give myself a break. Because I'm working with God and he ain't letting up. And that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? I gotta work on myself. All the time, God told me, I told God when I had that experience, I said I ain't never had nobody to teach me how to be a man properly. And God said, it's gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it in these 5 years. I mean, however long, I don't know how long it's gonna be, but he been doing it ever since. He said we're gonna do it. And I done learned so much. It's like I know that I'm just a conduit with God. That information got to be going to God. Cause it's like my mind can't even hold all of it. I couldn't hold all of it. So much download them came. They like clouds. Can't even hold all the information. And I say, I know this is the highest source that it's going through. It's amazing. There's no how powerful our Creator is. And I'm learning all that just by being connected to Him like this. That's like the moon, the sun and the moon. I was thinking about them too today. And it's like I'm tripping with it. It's like a man would rather be on the roof of his house than be with a nagging woman. And then you look at the sun and the moon. The moon come up, the sun be like, oh, yeah, I'm finna go, so it's like, because the moon, somehow you can tell by the moon, you can find your lover through the moon changing, the way the moon changed. Somehow you can find your exact lover through that moon. I don't know how though. But it's like the moon, it's the moon. So, when people like, that's where they probably get that from when you're showing your moon, when you're paying down with the moon, the moon, the woman, So, I don't know, I just find that kind of stuff unique. And it's almost like we ain't never alone. Whatever we're looking for, nature will show us where it's at. Stars, moon, sun, all of it will show us where it's at. We just done been detached from civilization for so long, from nature for so long. We done lost We done lost our natural abilities to connect this way again. We need to go back to that. We're going back to that so we can start back connecting with reality. Anyway.